Welcome back to the Midnight Scooby Show. And, well, Velma dropped today on HBO Max, and this is not a show I was excited for, and honestly, they only dropped the trailer yesterday, so I don't think HBO and Warner Brothers had much faith in this show, but I still went into watching the show with an open mind. You know, the trailer definitely did not sold me on this show, and I was watching it yesterday, and I was like, yeah, this is gonna be a rough ride. But I still went open-minded into this first two episodes, and I will say, yeah, this is not for me. I do not like most of the humor in this, but I will say that the mystery is there, and that's the most important thing about a Scooby-Doo show. Minus Scooby-Doo, yeah, they don't even have that. I don't know how this was greenlit, and it did not face the axe of Zasloff, while Scooby-Doo Holiday Haunt did. It just makes no sense to me. Now, I don't think Scooby-Doo worked as an adult animated show. It feels more like a shell of the franchise that I know. And I still look at another one of Harley Quinn. That show is so good. But it works because DC to me can be so many different things. It can be, you know, adult animated to live action adult to just family friendly. That's DC. Scooby-Doo has always been family friendly. And honestly, edgier Scooby-Doo was this, the Scooby Natural episode from season 13 of Supernatural. That was good. That was Scooby-Doo being edgier. And even Zombie Island was edgy Scooby-Doo. That is good. That was great. But all the characters still felt like the characters that we know and watched over all these years. Now, the characters in Velma don't. Now, I still think Velma and Daphne were the best out of the four Mr. Ink gang. I think Velma had a lot of great performances by Mindy in these two episodes. I think she added a lot to this role. I really enjoyed how her panic attacks were represented by these actual kind of demonic monsters. That was so cool. And the animation on that was really solid. Constance as Daphne I thought was great. You know, she definitely has all these rich, you know, people's mind and how she wants to be with all the popular kids. And that was, you know, great. And I think they kind of changed her background a little bit. And her two moms were great characters. I think they actually add a lot more humor into the show because they're not the greatest detectives. And I think that is awesome. Then you get the men of the Mr. Ink gang, Shaggy and Fred. And I gotta tell you, I do not like these representations of these characters. Shaggy does not scream Shaggy to me. He just seems like another high school student who just is in love with Velma. That's all he felt like. They took away Scooby-Doo. It's a Scooby-Doo franchise show where you take away the talking dog. And that, to me, is what makes Scooby-Doo. It's Scooby-Doo and Shaggy. They're the best parts of Mr. Ink. And there's why I watch all the shows. Fred. I do not like it. Oh my goodness. Fred is just... he's just so immature in this, and he can't do anything for himself. And, you know, we've seen, you know, Fred, he's not, you know, he does seem like the, you know, rich kid jock type of person, but he still can contribute so much to Mystery Inc. And in this one, he just seems helpless. And I gotta admit, come on, anyone could pretty much guess that he's not involved in this murder, because if he does not recognize Velma, why would he be putting in the locker or the trash can in front of Velma's? It makes no sense. And also, he can't even cut a steak. And the joke about him, it's like he hasn't reached puberty. It's just, that joke is awful, and they overplay it too much, and I do not like it. It's very immature to me. And also, you get the simple fact that it's like, I hate this version of this character. I just hate it. Now, I think there's a few side characters in the show that I think are pretty interesting. I think Velma's dad is a very interesting character, but I don't think he's adding too much to this. We haven't seen enough of him yet to really make a decision on it. And, you know, a lot of the joke just doesn't work. And honestly, these first two episodes are just there. But I don't think the show is truly awful, at least based on these first 2 episodes. I still have to see a little bit more, but honestly, I just don't think this is for me. I still think there could be someone out there who will like this. But, when you watch this, you're just like, he's supposed to be in high school. This is just way too, immature, drug-filled nonsense. And I knew it right alone from the first few minutes of this where the show was heading. But I gotta say, I think the murder mystery aspect of it is the best part of this show. I think it's, just there, and I think it's trying. I think it's going to keep me at least invested in that. But overall, besides that, I think that's going to be it. But also, there's an interesting story with Velma's mother, and I think that could be very interesting, but then again, the backstory was kind of not the greatest. Now, I guess I expected the show to be awful, and it's not awful. It's just a very mediocre Family Guy, Big Mouth style show, and I just don't think it works. I really see the show, getting the axes Asloff eventually. I don't think this is worth, your time if you really love Scooby-Doo, but that's also the thing. This does not take away from all the Scooby-Doo that's out there. There's still going to be more in the future that I think everyone will enjoy. And I think that's the thing with Scooby-Doo. It's a thing that everyone can enjoy, and this just is not that. But there's still going to be more Scooby-Doo in the future, and that's the most important thing. One bad show does not take away from all the good we've had over the years. And I think Velma is just going to be that little, it's going to exist for about 5 weeks, and then it's just going to disappear. And no one's going to really want to talk about it. And I really think edgier Scooby-Doo, it works. Adult, edgier Scooby-Doo animation does not work. And this show proves it. And I look at a show like Riverdale, which that show has gone off the rails, but it still took that kind of teenage soap opera murder mystery, and it did it really well in the first season. And I honestly think a live-action Scooby-Doo doing that by Warner Brothers could have been great. Because you don't need all these crass humor and this, gross animation to make an edgier Scooby-Doo, and we know that. We've seen it all over the years. I want to end this video before I go even more on a rant. But I think my overall thoughts is this show is not for me. It is not awful. I think watching it, it's a lot better than the trailers, but it just doesn't feel like a Scooby-Doo property. These characters of the Mr. Inc., Fred, Daphne, Shaggy, and Velma, they don't quite nail what you expect from these characters, and I think that is the greater problem with this. But I have to see what the rest of the season brings. But based on the first 2 episodes, I think the murder mystery aspect of it is going to be pretty solid. It's a really interesting murder mystery because they're definitely trying to frame Velma. But why? I can't wait to find out. But the humor is not for me. Oh, and I guess I didn't even mention the animation. It's okay. It's, a lot like other adult animated shows that are out there. But, it doesn't add too much, I don't think. And honestly, I don't think this is the worst looks for the characters of Scooby-Doo we've ever seen. Okay, that's it for tonight. Thank you guys for watching this video, and share me your thoughts on the first 2 episodes if you watched it on HBO Max, which also today announced that the price is raising per month. So, of course, Warner Brothers, that's how you're going to make us pay a little bit more to keep watching the show. Okay, that's it. See you guys next time. Bye, everyone.